Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to, I think, is this the third annual Podcasters Unhinged at Grand Ole Game Room Expo?
I'm going to count and use my knuckle. Yes, the number's 3.
The third annual.
Yes.
And, well, this is the third year for the show.
Yes.
And we've made it every year, and we've done this every year.
Yeah.
I'm Brent Griffith with the Broken Token Classic Arcade and Pinball Podcast. And then to my right is...
Jay Patrick from Podcast Roll.
And then to his right is...
Whitney from the Broken Token Podcast. So, yep, rounding it out.
So for new listeners of both of our shows, this is how this goes. We just hang out and chat. We talk a little bit about what's going on at the expo, and that could lead into anything. Last year we had a throwdown
talking about Back to the Future. Yeah, so we'll probably do that again tonight.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. 213.
Yeah.
Oh,
213.
we split the room.
No.
132.
132.
You and I are 132.
Yeah.
No.
Whitney and your co-host Adam are
either 123 or 213. It's really interchangeable. The only thing that matters is 3 comes at the end, and we pretend it doesn't. It didn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
3. I will steal your thunder,
Go ahead.
JP. 3 tells a compelling story that doesn't center on the DeLorean.
If I owned these mics, I would drop it.
But why does it have to be a Western?
Well, now look.
They could have done that story a thousand different ways, and they had to use the most unbelievable way to deliver the story and end the entire trilogy. It ended with such a lackluster poof, and it's like that makes no sense whatsoever. I was so frustrated.
Iron Man 3.
Actually, I have come to appreciate that movie. If you start the MCU and watch Iron Man 3 for what it is, I've actually started to appreciate that movie.
You and I had a conversation about Iron Man 3 when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I could not stand it.
Because it was all about the suits. And it's still about the suits.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that side story of Tony Stark and the PTSD issues. And
his trip to Chattanooga.
Did he go to Chattanooga?
Yes, he went to Chattanooga.
And then got to Chattanooga and Miami in less than a day. But hey,
Yeah. Well, it's the same way that he flew to the Middle East in about, I think it was like one cutscene in 4 minutes.
And I was trying to figure out when the suit was flying in pieces, he asked one of the guys the flight time.
The flight time, that's exactly right. And it was completely off. Yeah.
A single engine prop Cessna or a jet?
Yeah.
I mean, or a suit cuff? What's your flight time?
It's a movie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I will say, I mean, I was so highly
disappointed,
aggravated and disappointed with Iron Man 3 for probably a couple of years. But then I went back and started watching the MCU, and I had the benefit of compressing the story to where I watched Iron Man 3 in rapid succession with everything that came before it. And when I watched it that way, I then started to appreciate the story that it told. Now, I'm not going to say that it's my favorite.
I mean, it's no Back to the Future 3. When it comes to the third of anything,
It is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Oh, it is a good Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic Christmas movie.
Yeah, it really is.
I guess it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
that gets into that discussion of it. I have never seen.
Of course, I think all Shane Black movies are Christmas.
Yeah, they're Christmas movies.
Yeah,
not that I can recall. I do not believe I have seen end to end Die Hard.
What?
I have not.
Really?
And it's just worked out that way.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with a lot of the pop culture aspect of it and the references. I can't recall having seen it end to end.
Yeah, it's good. I know it's an old movie, but in my mind, it's aged. Well, it's still fun to watch.
I have it on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
True story.
I've not seen all of it.
No, I haven't. But, last year I set aside time. Don't judge me, because I can see the judgment in your eyes right now, JP.
That's always there. But keep going.
I made time to sit down just to relax, get away from the craziness that was the holidays, and watch Christmas Vacation end to end.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done it in a long time, just to sit down.
It's a beautiful movie,
and
isn't
relax.
it? Yeah.
And 1 or 2 years prior, I had actually watched A Christmas Story end to end the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe this year's the Die Hard year.
Clark, is your house on fire?
It's full, Clark.
Hey, if you just joined us, this guy's never seen Die Hard all the way through. Yeah, I know. You probably can leave now. I understand.
What a shock.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like me either. What? So were you here for the Back to the Future conversation? Have you seen all three Back? I don't want to assume anything. I mean, I haven't seen Die Hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you're familiar with all.
Culture.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
I deserve it.
Keep going.
Brent
deserve it.
just asked the
I
question.
dish it out. I
Yeah.
should take it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I deserve that. How do you rank the Back to the Future movies, best to worst?
2, 1, 3.
Oh, that's a
Oh my God.
curveball.
No, that's-
I'll take it. I'll
He's
take
got
it.
3 at the end. You felt
All that matters is 3 is at the end. It doesn't matter the other 2.
So it doesn't
It's
matter that
it's
all
just
two-
three parks at the end.
all two is the same, like the first one over again. Like half of that movie is just the first movie.
But I
it's so
love,
J.J. Abrams.
You know, I do love me some J.J. Abrams. I really do. Have you guys seen Fringe?
no.
Oh, Fringe,
No,
the
I've not.
TV show Fringe. Yeah, it's directed by J.J. Abrams. If you're a J.J. Abrams fan, such as I, Fringe is absolutely awesome, and it has Leonard Nimoy in it.
The reference is his reboot, the reboot of Star Wars. I
get
enjoyed
it, yeah. Star Trek.
No, Star Wars. What
He did
was-
both.
Well, Star Trek.
did both.
He did
And
both.
Star
Yeah.
Trek. Yes,
Yeah.
he did. He
Yeah.
did. You know, there's R2D2s hidden in all the Star Treks, right? True story.
Very, very. No, that is very true.
I enjoyed the first 42 seasons of Lost.
Only made it through 1.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And
Didn't he do Alias too? Wasn't that his?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't follow Lost, but my impression was that it eventually got to the point where it was off the rails because I guess there was just too much going on, and there was something about that.
There was no way to end it.
There was no way to end it.
Yeah.
There was something about some corporation, and this was earlier internet days, but people were still screen grabbing like images, and there were some logos scattered
Yeah.
throughout. I mean, did I dream that? You're
No,
looking at
no, you're on.
Okay.
I know there was a plane
Yeah.
and an island
and an island.
and like a smoke monster.
I think that came later on, didn't it? Yeah.
No, I
There was no way
didn't
to end it. A lot
Yeah.
like Back to the Future too.
Yeah. Oh, Back to the Future too. was
There's no
great.
ending.
That's okay because
watch it. You know what has an ending? 3.
That's
yeah,
true.
Yeah, it has an ending because it says the end, not because the story was good enough to call it the end. Okay, it just had to end. They either ran out of money or it was just so stupid that they just said we can't do anything with this. We've got a flying train. We're
Hurts.
done.
Hurts my heart. I have a question for you guys.
You can suspend reality for time travel, but the train is too much.
Yes,
I will give you the train
Yeah.
is a little too much.
the train's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think it's safe to say that both of your passions are pinball and arcade.
It is safe to say yes.
What is your second greatest passion?
Peace and quiet.
Well, that's boring. You know, we do have an audience this year. Make up something.
Go ahead, Whitney.
It's hard to top peace and quiet. Second passion. It's probably kind of sad. Work would probably work's a solid answer. No, watching movies and
Movies,
film.
yeah.
Movies and film. Seriously, I've got. I've just got so much invested in that, just from a storyline and character perspective and everything like that. I dig into it pretty hard. So I would say film would be a second, more minor passion.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I've found the last couple of years that the arcade hobby has taken all of my time. And there's a few other things that I enjoy doing,
Yeah.
and I'm not making time for that. So Whitney and I've talked about this on the show before. I've shown cars forever, you know, since I got my first Firebird when I was 17, and I traveled the local show circuit, and not that there were big shows, but you were always at rod runs and car cruises, and that was the camaraderie that we have here. Like you and I were playing pinball earlier, JP. I was playing pinball with some listeners of the show that are out here in the audience. Whitney.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do, showing cars. This is a little different, but I've gotten away from that, you know, and I do miss that.
Yeah.
So it's a passion, but unfortunately, I'm not able to act upon it.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you would say your second passion were Geisha Girl internet videos.
No. I had to give those
I had you
up.
paid for that.
I
Yeah.
was burning up too much bandwidth.
This is a family-friendly show, guys. Okay, family-friendly.
Well, I told a joke earlier that won't make it to air.
yeah, the good thing.
You sure did.
It was funny though. I'll give you that.
I've got another too. We'll talk
Yeah.
later.
Brent, you want to get into our
Oh
special?
yeah. So
Yeah.
Whitney, if you haven't noticed, there's an inconspicuous piece of paper to your right that doesn't match anything else in this room. There's nothing on it that you care about yet. Give me a couple sheets,
Fair enough.
and then give me one of those pens. I hope they work.
do that.
So here's what we're going to do.
Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. We're going to JP. His passion outside of podcasting is origami. So
Is what?
Origami.
Oh, origami. Yes, it is.
the art of paper folding, Whitney.
Which is
Oh,
also
I
Asian in
definitely
origin.
know what that
Okay.
is. Yeah.
All right. So
It's all
here's-
good. I was just trying to piece it together going origami. Really? Okay.
this is either going to work or this is going to be colossally broken token bad.
Okay.
You and I are on the match game.
Okay.
All right. So JP has a series of questions.
Wait, hang on a second. As you set this up, I think I have some music. Hang
Oh,
on.
really?
Oh.
Seriously, have you got it?
Okay, keep going. All right, talk.
So JP's got some questions. He's going to pose those questions to you and I.
Okay.
The question is with respect to our the co-host. How would you answer that? You write your answer for me. I write my answer for you. Then we're going to see if we match.
Interesting. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
But I have to write it I have to write it from your perspective.
Write it as Hagrid.
Yeah. Okay. Write it.
No,
as
we learned
accurate. Okay.
earlier for folks that had just walked in. Whitney, we were talking about I almost said Lord
Harry
of the
Potter.
Rings,
No,
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And Whitney had read the books with his daughter,
Uh-huh.
and then as part of that, he acted through some of the characters to bring her into the story. So
Yeah.
that's the Hagrid references.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can we hear your Hermione voice?
No. I farmed that out. That was a subcontract deal.
So
Okay.
here's how you know I love you as a friend.
Okay.
I phrased that in such a way that I wasn't going to put you in a box asking you to really do it. JP, on the other hand, ran over you with a bus. He went to
true.
Hermione.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's true.
It's all good.
So he's going to ask the questions.
Okay.
And I have to answer the question how I think you would answer
Okay,
it.
fair
And you
enough.
have to answer it how I think you
Okay.
would.
All right. Good
You know,
deal.
like the match game.
The
Yeah,
match game.
gotcha.
And we got to see if we match.
All right.
And remember, you have to use whoopee at some point.
Whoopee.
Just like Bob Eubanks. Huh?
Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Question
I'm
number
ready.
one
All right.
on the Broken Token Match Game. Which Star Trek universe would your co-host choose to live in? Original or Kelvin? Speaking of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. Kelvin being the alternate universe that was
Yeah.
created when Spock... What happened? He got in a time warp?
No, he used the red matter and he caused a sun to fold in on itself. Yes.
I can see why you
So-
love Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. So, Brent, answer my question with the word that starts with a K. Okay.
I've already written an answer
Wow.
down. I've already written an answer down. Have you written an
it's all
answer
good.
down?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I have.
All right. So
All right.
All right, Whitney.
No, let's keep on going.
no. We're going to do that. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll do one at a time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
which universe would you live in? You already answered.
Well, first of all, let's put it to the audience. Which is the better Star Trek universe?
Oh,
The
yeah.
original,
Oh, good,
the
good.
original or
Yeah, out
Kelvin?
of curiosity.
OG?
I thought he was going to say.
Really, OG?
I thought he
Seriously?
was going to say the third universe.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Sorry, I like Next Generation.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
DS9? Yeah. Oh, that's my second favorite.
Yeah, but all of those take place in the same universe,
Yeah.
though. They all
Yeah,
take place
yeah,
in,
original.
in,
Yeah,
in
the
the
original
TOS universe for sure.
Yeah.
That's the non-Kelvin.
The non-Kelvin, timeline.
So which time?
The what?
The not J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Oh.
Why is it called the Kelvin? I never. Do they go on?
I think
all temperatures measured in Kelvin?
No, the
Oh, is
USS
that-
Kelvin is the ship that Chris Hemsworth, who is his father, was on at the very beginning of the movie. I believe, is that correct? I think that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Okay.
USS Kelvin.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, because that's the one that's destroyed at the very beginning of the movie when
So-
Kirk's mother's ejected
So
from
here's
pod
a
and all that.
Here's a PSA.
Yeah.
I've noticed at Walmart for Star Trek fans, they have box sets. I'm assuming for Christmas, coming into the Christmas holiday. When you see the box sets, they're all white with like a relief in like silver of whatever the logo is for the set. And one set is all of the original cast movies, and the other set is all the next gen cast. So, and they're like $30. So it's all the movies on Blu-ray in 2 box sets. So anyway,
And for all you Dukes of Hazzard fans, Dollar General has Bo and Luke Duke gift sets.
Oh, okay. Oh,
They do?
is this
Anatomically
show?
correct.
Huh.
What?
How late is this show running? 'Cause
Yeah.
I may need
yeah.
to go.
Is the
Okay.
store open?
Okay, let's get to,
Yeah.
to
All
the
right,
answer first.
so
We-
what is-
we
what is-
only have 39 of these to go.
Okay.
Okay, whoa,
so
boy.
Let's start with Whitney.
what did your answer is?
You said Brent would live
no,
in
I think Brent would live in the original series, the TOS universe.
Oh, yeah, I guess you should probably answer.
I should
first.
answer first,
Yeah.
but Whitney's right, so Whitney gets a point.
All right,
point.
fair enough.
All
Good
right.
deal.
You guys keep your own score.
All right.
All right. So
I want to do as little as possible.
I said
I want to do as little as possible.
you said you'd live in the Kelvin universe, and I said original.
Oh, did you?
So I
Okay.
missed.
No, it's all good.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fine. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know how much he loves the Abrams.
I mean,
Goose-
I love
Goose-
them both, but there's so much unexplored story in the Kelvin universe right now.
They've only-
That's what I'm really looking forward to.
You got a lot of space. I'll room to
Yeah,
grow.
fair enough.
Hold
Yeah.
on. This is the sound of me writing down a big old goose egg. Hold on. Okay, 0. All right. Question 2.
Question 2.
So far, this is going swimmingly, Whitney.
Yeah, it's all good.
Just announce all your answers.
It'll get smoother as we go.
Would your co-host consider the Star Wars prequel movies canon? Well, I don't. That's not an opinion, right? I mean, okay, whatever.
I think you're
Would your co-host
the word is escaping me right now.
confused? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, well,
I
let's
have
go to
my
the
answer.
audience. The Star Wars prequels canon? Yes. No. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's subjective. All right, okay.
No. I've heard varying opinions. People are adamant about that it doesn't start till A New Hope, and then you can just forget it.
I'm sorry about that, but
What? Are you guys
Really?
prequelist?
Huh?
Are you prequelist?
I
You love the prequels?
No, I didn't say. Let's put it this way: I don't have to like them, but they exist and they're there.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling a goose egg coming for Brent.
All right. Well, let's start. We're going to get Brent's answer first. So,
Okay.
the prequels, are they canon, Whitney?
I answered no.
No. Your co-host
me
said
is no.
No. Okay, so that means you get a point. All right, Whitney, or Brent. Ah, this is so confusing.
Yes.
Do you want me to run
I
this?
couldn't be the match game host. What would Whitney say?
I think Whitney would say no.
Correct.
Oh wow, you both scored.
We both get a point.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The thing about it is, they're there. I don't like them, but they're there. It's so anyway.
Wow, who wrote these? They love the Star Wars questions.
Yeah.
Episode 1 redo. Does Jar Jar stay or does he go? We're going to redo Star Wars again. Does Jar Jar stay or go? Hey, make sure you come back after you finish your rounds.
All right. So I would say.
Brent would say.
Hold on. I got to give you my answer.
Okay.
I would say he stays.
Whitney, what did you say Brent would say?
I thought Brent would say go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What would you say, Whitney?
What is your answer? Stay or go?
Go.
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 Yes.
Clear says go with
Point.
2 exclamation
Could not
points.
stand. I cannot stand Jar Jar Binks.
I rushed through that question to get to this question. You have a 10-hour drive nonstop across the desert. You have to take one passenger. Which Golden Girl would your co-host take? Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, or Sophia? I know who I would take. Blanche, because it's a 10-hour drive. So, you know.
Oh, this is tough. Yeah. This is so subjective.
Oh, well, let's put it to the audience. 10-hour drive with a Golden Girl. Blanche. It's pretty consistent, Blanche.
No.
Nobody wants to go with Sophia? Well, she might die along the way. I can see that. Aren't all of them dead? No.
No.
Betty White's still alive.
Betty White's hanging on.
Who would have thought that would have how it would have turned out? That's how it would have turned
And
out.
the lady, Estelle Getty
Estelle
played.
Getty, yeah.
She was actually the
The youngest.
youngest of all of them.
Yeah. First to kick the bucket.
Yep.
Weird. Okay, we started with you last time, Whitney.
Who would you take?
You got to go on a road trip. You got to take a Golden Girl with you. This sounds like the most horrible road trip ever.
Yeah. The thing about it is I can flip flop on this answer in about a heartbeat. I answer Rose.
You take Rose?
Yeah.
Oh, I said he'd take Dorothy.
Really? You did say
I,
Dorothy.
I said he'd take Dorothy.
Who wants to go with B. Arthur? Anywhere. And you want to hear about St.
Wait,
Olaf the
he
whole
can-
play? Oh, wow. Okay.
You're not giving me much to work with.
Whitney strikes me as when it gets down to business, I want to have a serious conversation. We're going to get deep into a topic and we're going to make this trip. Dorothy seems like she's the one to do it.
And
you know
Maud
what? I
is who
can
you're gonna
I can
go with.
appreciate that.
As
Yeah.
with Maud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Strangely enough, my answer, I would take Rose.
Look what I've got. Rose.
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 Wow.
Yep.
I got a big goose egg.
Hey.
Whitney gets a point.
I'm honestly surprised you guys have been together so long and don't know this next question about one another.
Okay,
That it
fine.
never came up.
Fire away.
At your senior prom. No, I'm kidding.
Oh boy.
Has your co-host ever been on ice skates? I won't put this one to the audience. Well, I guess if you guys had to pick one of these and said they've been ice skating, who would you say? Whitney? Brent? Brent.
What are you grinning for?
I'm guessing Brent.
Brent. It's two Brents, no Whitneys.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I still can't figure that out. I don't know if my feelings are hurt or if I'm relieved.
Two Brents and no Whitneys. Sounds like a band trip.
Yeah. Difference in no Whitney.
Okay, we started with Whitney last time. So, Brent,
I would say Whitney has never been on ice skates.
have you ever ice skated?
That is patently incorrect. I've ice skated numerous times.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was a figure skater back in the 80s.
No, I was not.
Well, I
that,
didn't know him
but-
in the 80s.
Yeah.
That explains his wonderful physique.
Did you ever see the movie
Because
with
ice
Margot
skater-
Robbie in it?
With who?
With Margot Robbie in it, where she was an ice skater?
No.
Tanya. Hi,
Oh,
Tanya.
did she play?
She played Tanya Harding.
Oh, when didn't she also play
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn? Well,
Yeah, but
I
that
mean,
wasn't- yeah.
Did she typecast herself?
Well,
Or
maybe. Okay. Have you ever been ice skating?
I have, yes.
Yes. Yep. I've got yes.
Oh.
Yep.
So, are we halfway through? Oh, we're halfway through the game.
Okay. Fair enough.
Uh,
Thank goodness.
I'm enjoying myself.
No, this is cool.
So let's do the scores. Where are we at with you, Whitney? How many you got?
I've got 4.
4.
and I've got
Whitney has 6, and we want to ask 5 questions. That's weird.
No,
you
I,
have
no, I am numbered up for 6. Yeah, I'm good.
4.
Yeah.
Whitney's got 4. How many you got?
I've got 2.
Wow. The next half of this panel is going to be you two discovering your love languages because I don't think you understand them.
I don't think so either.
All right, question number 6.
All right, let's do it.
Your co-host is stuck on Gilligan's Island. What character is he? So you have Gilligan, Professor,
That's the audience.
Marianne, Ginger, the captain. Who do
That
you
would
guys
be-
think Whitney would be?
That would be the skipper, not the captain.
Oh, the skipper. Sorry.
The captain was tied up with Tennille back at that time.
It was years before me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Years before me.
I'm surprised.
So, I
I'm
said Whitney
surprised
as
it
the
took this long.
professor.
I'm surprised it took this long for someone to bail.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Professor. That's what I'd say. I'd say Whitney's professor.
Right on.
What about Brent? Ginger. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm hurt because Marianne was hotter.
I would say Mr. Howell.
Mr. Howe.
Love her.
Okay. Whitney, we'll start with you.
I thought that Brent would answer as the professor.
He would think you were the professor. What's your answer?
Who I think I
Or
would
what did you
be
write down?
for Whitney?
Yeah.
I wrote down that he would be the skipper.
Fair enough.
Oh, like Sky Skipper?
But where we failed here is we told each other what we would be, but we didn't
keep up with the rules of this game.
So
Yes,
that
very
one's
true.
that's a push. We'll
Yeah,
call
that's a
that
push.
We'll call that a
we'll just
push.
draw a line through that.
All right.
Yeah, pretend it never happened.
What did you write down? You wrote
I
down
wrote
Skipper
down
for
that he
him.
would be the
What did you
skipper.
write down for him?
The professor.
Oh, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
That was tough because that required. Never mind. I won't go into that. Number 7, your co-host game room has to be cleared out. He can keep 2 games. Whitney will keep Skyfall. Brent keeps Adams.
Skyfall.
Sky Skipper. Sorry. Love the James Bond.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Brent
Big fan.
keeps Adams Family. What is the other game kept? Skyfall.
It was a good film.
Yeah, it was.
I liked it a lot.
I won't ask the audience because that will require them to know the other games that you have, and they probably don't.
That's okay.
I'm changing my answers to what Whitney would keep.
Oh, what did you say he would keep? Don't say
No,
it.
no,
Just let me
he's got
see.
He's got a Skyfall. Can you read my writing? I should have been a doctor
Oh, that's
or a serial killer.
or both.
Or that wasn't that a show?
I think it was Dexter, right?
Yeah, Dexter.
No, he wasn't a doctor. He was kind of a doctor. Are you done, Whitney?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to start with Whitney. And don't say what you wrote down,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
but you have to guess what he wrote down.
Yes. Yes.
No, no.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What game he is keeping?
Right.
Yes.
This is so confusing.
Yeah.
What game?
What
are
do you think Brent wrote down?
What game are you keeping, Whitney?
I think Brent wrote down my red Donkey Kong.
Nope. I wrote down his Iron Man pin.
Oh,
Wow.
That is a solid choice, though. That's a solid choice. Close. Yeah.
Yeah. You know he'd go with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you not see his panel?
I know. Well, Donkey Kong is dead to me.
That it is.
All right, Brent, what do you think Whitney wrote down for
so
you?
I'm keeping the Addams Family.
Yeah.
That's staying. And the other game that would stay would be my Battlezone Atari Vector.
I did not get that one, but I think I was close.
What did you say?
I said his Domino Man.
My Domino Man?
Yeah.
Is that your Domino Man on
That
the
is
floor?
my Domino Man on the
Yeah.
floor. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Battlezone is one of the.
Dude, I went back and forth between that and the Battle Zone.
Yeah.
And I picked Domino Man purely because I know you've had it so long and it's so rare that it's like I could find another Battle Zone. Finding another Domino Man, that's actually a tougher thing to do.
Both of those games had that was an old memory. That was a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
The Domino Man a little less. It really stood out seeing it at Chuck E. Cheese back in the day for some reason. The Battlezone was a little bit more of a thing, a reoccurring thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Battlezone.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Goose egg for both of us. 8.
On to question number 8. After Iron Man for Whitney and Captain America for Brent, who is your co-host next favorite MCU character?
Oh,
Let's go around the room and see who some favorite MCU characters are. Who you guys love? Is it the Hulk? Is it Hawkeye? Is it Scarlet Witch? Vision? No?
Spider-Man for both of them.
Spider-Man. That's a good one. He's in the MCU now.
This is
Hey,
tough.
Whitney, Deadpool's not in the MCU.
No, I got
I know-
that. I'm
Okay.
I know
solid
who
on that.
mine is, but I'm trying to envision who
Oh,
your
and I know who.
channel it, Whitney. I'm trying to envision who your next favorite would be after Iron Man.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and
Blink once if it's
Oh my
Quicksilver.
gosh.
if it's Quicksilver. It's not Quicksilver, it's Quicksilver's shoes. That's what it is. He had good
Okay.
shoes.
I've got
That's
an
what you
answer
went
for,
with?
I've got a reason for the answer.
Okay. Well, we're going to start with you. Are you done?
I am done.
All right.
And oddly enough, it is the same.
Brent.
My next favorite character after Captain America is the Hulk.
Whitney, what did you write down
I
for
botched
him?
that. I wrote down Thor.
Thor.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right, okay.
So, what is yours?
The audience has it, man. It's Spider-Man for
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I wrote the Hulk for you
Yeah.
because of the long-running tie between David Banner and Tony
That's-
Stark.
And your
that's a
anger
good
management
point.
issues.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we
that.
try not to talk about that.
All
Yeah,
right.
Double goose.
Yeah,
goose
the audience
egg.
nailed it. The
All
audience nailed
right.
it, though. Spider-Man for sure, man.
Last question. Question number 9. I thought we had 10, but apparently the scriptwriter only wrote 9.
Oh, that's a tiebreaker. Oh, well, you don't have to have a tiebreaker.
Oh, that's true. That's
Well,
good point.
maybe not. I mean, you could still tie. Anyway,
don't know.
let's not do the math on that. It's late. Come on.
Mathematically, you cannot win this.
I'm out.
Congratulations, Whitney. You won. The first ever broken token match game.
Yeah.
With your score of 4,
Out of
five.
No, four.
Four.
Yeah.
And you have
I've
two?
got 2.
You haven't scored since halftime?
No.
All right,
not
well, we're
since,
gonna
not
do-
since you screwed up question 6.
Question 9 for fun. You still wouldn't win.
No. There's no
No.
way. I don't know who this man is.
But
I don't know about him and his insatiable love for hats.
Yes.
I've
Oh, I love me some hats.
So for fun, question 9. Your co-host can have one screen-perfect vehicle. What does he take? Kit, the General Lee, Ecto-1, the DeLorean Time Machine, or Airwolf? Who remembers Airwolf?
Oh, I remember.
More importantly, who remembers the theme from Airwolf? Who
Who can sing the theme to Airwolf?
Okay.
What would Whitney take?
You guys like TV cars?
What would Whitney take?
No? Who's your favorite?
TV cars?
TV movie?
Ecto 1.
Ecto-1?
Ecto one's a good choice. Yeah.
Ecto-1. It seems like it'd always be in the shop. Yeah.
The mystery machine.
The mystery
The
machine.
mystery machine.
That's a good one.
That's a solid one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam West's Batmobile.
Oh, 66 Batmobile.
That's
Good
No,
one.
It's a
it
good
messes
choice, too.
With the top, no, it messes my hair up. I don't.
The open bubble's too much.
So too much, too
Yeah.
much.
The correct answer is the Family Roadster.
The
from
family.
Vacation.
Oh, the family truckster. Oh yes.
Truckster, that's it. Okay, Whitney, Brent's got to pick one of these. Kit, the General Lee, Ecto-1, DeLorean, Airwolf. What's Brent going to pick?
The DeLorean.
What do you pick?
I picked the General Lee because I remember being subjected to the General Lee horn on the show repeatedly when someone sent you a keychain that played it.
Yeah.
So
call.
I went with the General Lee. And, I mean, we already knew I was losing. So big goose egg. This is the sound of a goose egg.
All right. You wrote down General Lee for him. What did you write down
Oh, no,
for
no, I
him?
got to tell you. I got to.
Oh, yeah, tell
I
him.
got to
Tell
give
him.
my answer.
Sorry.
I mean, we've gone 9 questions into this.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa, hold on.
I got to give my answer.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
what are you
See
going
if
with?
you match it.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
I do like the DeLorean. Don't get me wrong.
You should stop there. But keep going.
Especially in 3. But in all honesty, I would take an Ecto-1.
I wrote down DeLorean.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's how you lose broken token match game.
No. And I do want to say, Brent got that one right because my favorite is the General Lee. I'm sorry, I answered the question incorrectly. So you did get that right.
You're just. What did you?
So you got 3 points.
Yeah.
You almost won.
I think
a game with no prizes.
I think that was a charity point.
No,
I think
no,
it was his part.
no. I answered incorrectly because I answered in reverse. So sorry about that. 9 questions in, I
I
answered
asked
in
most
reverse.
of them in reverse.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
worse.
It could have gone worse.
It was a lot of fun,
But
but
it
it was
is-
really confusing. Yay.
Good night, everybody. All right, what do you want to do next?
Oh, you're running the show.
Oh, I am? No. Free drinks for everybody.
Oh my gosh. I would have thought you would have answered Hulk because of your comic background.
Oh, I know, but
Now we're going to debate the questions.
yeah, but man, Spider-Man's where it's at for sure. Yeah.
I mean, did well, I know you read comics.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't follow. My knowledge of the Marvel world is the MCU.
Oh,
And then
okay.
because I just didn't read comics. The handful that I read were like Donald Duck or whatever when I was really young.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And that was
okay.
kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, go to
Yeah.
the comic shop, get Donald
Get
Duck,
Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
I love the ducks.
I was a big fan of DuckTales. That I can't lie to. I love the
Man,
original
DuckTales are good.
DuckTales.
Fair enough.
But I just didn't read them. So everything that I know is MCU based, which I know isn't canon.
It's loose cannon.
Loose cannon,
It's
yeah.
It's accelerated, but loose cannon is what it is. Yeah.
Then I have gone back, and you want to talk about an internet wormhole. If something comes up in a movie, I have gone and, okay, well, what's the genesis of that? And then that leads, there's whole wikis for, I'm assuming DC as well, but for Marvel. And then I end up into
Hold on. What's DC?
DC, the DC
what?
side.
What?
Oh, you've never,
What?
Our
What's
distinguished
DC?
competition.
when I say DC, do you just hear,
Exactly.
okay, yeah. For other comic companies.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But
you mean the ones that aren't Marvel, right?
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So I've gotten into the wormhole of of this of the storylines of some of these characters and the DC. I know you can't hear this. DC's dead to you. The DC stuff that I've read about, is it fair to say that you get more of that iteration, more of that let's reset time, this person comes back on the DC side than you do in the Marvel comic side? Like the retelling of the same story?
At least every 5 years.
They just kind of like flush it and just
Yeah.
restart everything.
Just reset.
Well,
number,
reset.
reset number one and go again.
I mean, I don't know if the movies are in. I mean, how many Batmans have we had? Well, only one, Michael Keaton. How many attempts?
I was going to say Christian Bale, but yeah,
Wow. And I was going to say George Clooney.
really, George Clooney.
Who's the real Batman? Val Kilmer. You mean
I'll get drive through.
Yeah, Christian Bale for
wasn't
sure.
Val Kilmer the Saint?
Yeah,
What's he done lately? Where
Gain
is-
weight,
yeah,
unfortunately.
gain
Well,
weight.
I-
Unfortunately,
I think it's a thyroid condition.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Did he?
Yeah. Now let's make Brent feel bad.
Oh
Yeah,
my
the-
gosh,
Ooh.
Val, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Oh, I did enjoy your movies.
You were the one.
Yeah.
You were the one.
I did think The Saint was okay, other than
Top Gun was good. Ish.
for the time.
Yeah.
Aren't they remaking Top Gun?
Yes, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Come on in.
You're not in.
Come on in. Hey, you can be part of the show. No. Seriously. Do you want a mic? We got one. There's one on the end.
You don't seem like you're invested.
That is a classic of American cinema. I mean,
No. Let's not
All right,
overstate
Goose.
it.
You know, I'll look forward to seeing the reboot of Top Gun.
I got to
Seriously. I just because the story gets to live on again, and who knows what it turns
I
into.
know.
So, for me, I don't have to. I don't have to worry about the reboots taking place or taking the place of the original. I just I don't know. I like to see the story told again. So
I'm glad they brought Tom Cruise out of his cryogenic chamber to make second Top Gun.
Yeah, he'll look just as
Oh,
good in the second Top
He
Gun
will.
as he did in
He's
the
very.
first one.
He's very Dick Clark-like, isn't
Yes, yes, yes.
Dead?
he? Pickled.
Pickled. Yes. Stoic.
I think he's going to go out like a meteor. Just one day, just whoo, and he's going to be gone. Just dust.
Just
like
wispy dust.
like the what did you all call it on your show? The spoiler alert for
Don't you spoil Infinity War
for
for me.
Infinity War. You haven't seen it?
Yes.
I thought. What did you call? You called the snapshire when he
Oh, yeah.
snapped.
Oh,
it was
I
like
can't
the
take credit for
rapture.
that, but yes.
Was that Adam that came up with that?
Yeah.
He's just gonna just poof in dust. Just eventually.
Yeah.
Did you all see The Mummy? I didn't.
Oh, the 2017
Yeah,
Mummy?
they were trying to
I haven't
reboot
se- I haven't
all the
seen it yet.
all the not Marvel crud, the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Dark Universe.
And it just since it didn't do well, they just kind of just abandoned the entire
Yeah.
thing.
They should have, because I heard that movie was terrible.
Was it?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I had
Anyone here seen The Mummy?
which one?
The new one.
maybe the
What'd you think?
2017 one with Tom Cruise.
I think it was the one. Was the Rocky one?
Yeah, actually, he was.
Was he?
I think it was that one.
Yeah. That
Oh.
was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, he was. No, because he was Scorpion King.
He was Scorpion King.
That
Yeah.
having just listened to a podcast covering the complete cinematic and television works of The Rock, I believe that I don't know who would do such a thing.
I do.
I think
yeah.
that was his first movie. Terrible CGI,
Terrible
The Rock,
CGI, yes.
Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Scorpion King.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in The Mummy, he didn't speak when he was a Scorpion King. He didn't even have a speaking part. But then when they gave him his own movie, he said a little.
He had his also as the
But Scorpion King was originally in a Mummy.
right. That's the one I'm thinking of.
But then there was the movie, The Scorpion,
Scorpion King, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's what she's talking about.
But whenever it was in the movies, were cheap.
Yeah.
When movies
They
were cheap.
You don't see more than more.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I remember him in The Mummy at the very end because everyone was. I was a fan of the first Mummy, and because there was 3 total, including the Scorpion King, right? And then they kind of got progressively phoning it
Well, I
in,
think there was 3 and The Scorpion King.
including the Scorpion.
Brendan Fraser isn't in The Scorpion King.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last, jeez, I'm going to write this down. The one with Brendan Fraser and terrible CGI rock.
Uh-huh.
That was the third Mummy
That's
movie.
that's a mummy movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrible movie, unlike Back to the Future 3. Okay? Are you going to look it up now?
I'm gonna look it up.
This is Googling with JP.
Yeah.
Do it. So, but he didn't speak in that. There was this big build-up, and then it was a terrible CGI effect, and it was just like, eh.
There has been 6 or 5 Scorpion King movies, by the way.
But you didn't know
Wow.
that.
Kidding
Really?
me.
Yeah.
Just released to Netflix
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. So.
What was 5?
Okay.
The,
I did not even know that.
Okay, Scorpion King, 2002.
Yeah.
Guess what it is on Rotten Tomatoes. If you had to guess,
1.8.
So wait a minute, what's the scale on Rotten Tomatoes?
well, it's 100%.
Is it a 100-point
Yeah.
scale? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the original Scorpion King, where he spoke.
Yes.
All right.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay. So he was, as I've also learned recently, he was not always The Rock because he doesn't own that name. But it's a whole other story. I'm going to guess 48%.
Oh, what did you say, Whitney?
At 1.8.
Oh, that's low.
Yeah. Really low.
You're actually very close with 41%.
41. What's the plus or minus to hit it? If we're going to do this, we're going to have to come up with a rule.
Oh, okay. I was only going to look this one up.
Okay, go
sure. Within 5. Oh, let's say within 8, and then you would have been there. Yeah, this is the one with The Rock, released in 2002, Scorpion King. Inspired by the legendary Egyptian warrior, the Scorpion King, it's set 5,000 years ago in the notorious city of Gomorrah. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Gamora,
Yeah, Gamora.
Yeah, probably.
Like Gomorrah from Guardians?
or as in Sodom and.
Oh, Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about Sodom and Gomorrah.
All right.
No, Lot's wife.
This is going to be fun.
This suddenly took a rough turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I should probably mute my mic.
okay. This came out in 2002. In 2001, there was the second Mummy movie, The Mummy Returns, that had Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it as the Scorpion King.
I thought that was the third. Okay, I stand
So
corrected.
the second one. And then in 2008, there was the Scorpion King 2.
So how many?
Never saw that.
How
In
many?
2015, the Scorpion King, well, I don't see Scorpion King 3, but it
How
says
many
2015.
The Mummy movies were there?
Just
I thought
one,
there
just
was
one.
No, I thought there
thought.
was 3, and I thought the third had The Rock in it as crappy CGI Scorpion King.
So we're just going around in circles. I've already told you that was the second one from 2001.
I just wanted to correct myself from earlier.
So there's, and then in
It
2000,
was so bad, I thought it was 2 movies long.
there was a third Mummy movie
You guys debate this. I'll be right back.
in 2008.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Have we?
This is fascinating
I didn't
stuff.
think it would take this long. I didn't think it would take this long before someone bailed out.
I really didn't think. I didn't think it would
An
be.
actual panel member.
So there you go.
So
Everything
here's-
you ever wanted to know about the Scorpion King.
So while
and
he's
the
gone,
Mummy.
here's everything I hate about Whitney.
Go. Alphabetical order.
Do what?
Alphabetical order.
I don't know if I can. I got to think fast here. Come on.
He's allergic.
He's alert. He shows up at my house and we record the show and it drives me mad.
No, he has to pee a lot, and just leaves in the
Well,
middle of
now you're going
panels.
to talk about medical issues. You know. No, I love
why
him-
were we
I love
talking
him
about
to
the
death.
Mummy?
I can't remember. No, I love him to death. Otherwise, we wouldn't do the show. We have a great time.
Keep going.
I've-
I'd like to hear the things you love about it.
No. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
I love the name Broken Token. Like, that is absolutely a great name for a podcast.
But do you love the entire name of the show? What's the entire name, Brent?
The Broken Token Classic Arcade and Pinball Podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a mouthful.
He's just being polite. I can see it. She's like, he's an idiot. He's being polite.
She's like, I don't know. I just met him.
Cooter Brown?
No, but
Remember how drunk Cooter Brown is?
no. Okay.
Drunker than Cooter Brown.
I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I may want to meet this person. Just go with it. Okay.
Or you may not.
Whitney actually came up with the name. So before we got together to do the show, he had a blog. So it was the Broken Token blog. And the company Whitney works for, I had already met Whitney in the local community. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. Whitney is basically in Louisville. He lives in a pretty nearby city.
Yeah.
So Whitney, the company he works for, he was actually assigned as a representative at my company. One day I'm in the office kind of doing my thing, and I'm standing up just on a call, and there goes Whitney. So I catch up with him, and we
I feel
kind of
like
get
some music should be playing right
we kind of
now.
get it's like what, a love story?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I take it you guys sorted the mummy out, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We just abandoned the mummy.
Oh, okay,
We
fair
abandoned
enough,
the mummy.
fair enough.
And he was complimenting us, and I'm complimenting you on the name of the show.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So we got to talk a little bit, and I had wanted to do a podcast, but it's doable. But what I kind of had in mind, you really needed to split the load. And this is what's become our show. So I approached Whitney. He already had some notoriety, or some infamy, however you want to look at it. Kind of.
They both end with Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, do you want to take that brand and throw a podcast in?" And he got that excited.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so we did it.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Yeah.
I just really like the name, like Broken Token. It's simple, it rhymes, it's great.
See, you and I have had this conversation that anything like that, any brand that you can boil down to one word that is easy to say, rhymes.
Trump.
What's that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Maybe we won't go with that. How about that?
Every time I hear the brakes like slammed and the tires squeal, it's you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Keep going.
Look at him.
No. But he's right. I mean,
He's
single
giggling
word.
and he's like,
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I just cannot wait to fire this gun. But no, he's right. A word that rhymes and that is registrable as a domain, that's one of the big things too. So if you can tie all that together and get the social media handles and stuff like that, then it works
Something
out.
just rolls off your tongue, like
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein. That'd be a great name.
For everybody but Harvey Weinstein.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, your show went through kind of that rebranding for the same reason as I understood it.
Yeah, it's true. For about 7 years, all we talked about were Bill Cosby and Bill Cosby movies.
And well, then when the floor fell out from underneath
yeah,
you,
we had to.
from a content perspective,
We went with the Adam and JP show.
JP, you're really edgy. Is everything okay with you in the world? You feel you've got kind of like the Fonz jacket on. You look like a little darker version of the JP I've come to know and love, and I'm concerned about you.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we can talk after this.
Okay.
Maybe
All
there
right.
are some things I need to sort out. Maybe you can help me with.
All right, you're under the trust tree. We'll talk.
Right here?
Why not?
Well, it all started with my mom.
She had this hotel.
And she had microphones, and we had to do a panel. It was a weird thing.
Yeah. It's kind of chilly inside.
You can hang meat in here, can't you?
It's
Yeah.
chilly enough.
So your show,
Yes, go ahead.
you were the Adam and JP show.
Yeah, and it was the same thing. It was like too long. Nobody knew who Adam and JP were. So we just decided to go with a different name. So we went with Podcasserole because we are a podcast with a casserole of subjects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I don't know. It fits. I like it.
it works.
Yeah.
I want to know: are you eventually going to get back to doing the MCU?
Well, we got up to Thor: The Dark World.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
That's
then,
a little
then
tough.
Then the brakes hit for
That's a
Thor:
little
The Dark
tough.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having recently rewatched it, it was even a little tough to rewatch.
But yes.
Yeah.
We won't finish it before the next Avengers movie.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Sorry. What were you think we would? Mathematically, do we have time?
No, you don't. But I'll tell you, hope springs eternal because I just love listening to the content.
Here's a
so,
hot take. I
yeah.
haven't even seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet.
You haven't?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp. I did. I really liked that story.
Don't tell me how it ends. Don't tell me how it ends. Don't tell me how it ends.
You know, I just recently rewatched Ant-Man, and I'll tell you that is such a fantastic and funny movie.
It is fun.
It is.
great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as in your face as what the
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it worked. Ragnarok worked because it was almost like Thor's mental breakdown.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah,
like
very true.
nothing is going right for me.
Yeah.
Even down to the physical comedy. Spoiler. Even down to the physical comedy of like, was it Hulk threw the ball and it bounced off the wall in his apartment and it just, knocked Thor. I mean, cleaned his
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
even to that stuff, it worked. It was like nothing was going right for Thor, and the comedy still kind of worked.
Yeah.
You know, Ant-Man and the Wasp, a little different, more subtle.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
was the supporting cast helped that along as well. So I don't know. It's just it was a great heist movie. So I liked it a lot.
I will tell you this: you kind of had an idea, and I'm not going to spoil it. You kind of had an idea. Have you all seen Ant-Man and the Wasp? Anyone here not seen it? You all okay? So I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of have an idea how things dovetail because that was already out there.
Yeah.
You know, where some lines start to cross so that everything kind of comes together toward the second Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit of a surprise because all of a sudden it's just like one of the Iron Man suits in Iron Man 3 that gets hit by a bus and it shatters into a million pieces because Tony Stark isn't in there to hold it all together like you're led to believe happens in that wonderful movie.
Yeah. Oh, that still wears me out to this day. Still, that whole scene still wears me out. The ending of that scene still wears me out to this day.
You look like you're going to say something.
Iron Man 3 better than Back to the Future 3?
Oh, by far.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There
By
we
far.
have it.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
What movies would you guys like us to talk about next?
I don't know.
we haven't talked about it. We haven't even talked about the show.
No, we haven't, have we?
Oh, get back on that.
Yeah.
Which one? Please say 3.
Please say 3. Please say 3.
I'm gonna say 2.
Ah.
It was pretty. Would you say
It was
pretty
okay.
Pretty okay. Yeah, pretty okay.
Game wise, Whitney and I have actually had a chance to play games this go round, and we've mentioned this in the past. And the same thing happens with you, JP. You get to these shows, you get involved in panels.
Yep.
There's things that need to be done that you're there
bar.
to do. The bar, and it's difficult to actually get in the game room and play a few games. But we've had time to do that, and we've had some time on all the new Stern titles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's some classic titles out there. I haven't actually made a. I know there's a Blueprint out there. I want to give that a swing because
Yeah.
I've never actually played an original Blueprint.
Yeah. Let's go play that together because neither have I. So I would enjoy that.
Anything that you've got a chance to kind of belly up to yet that just stood out to you?
It would be on the arcade side. I got a chance to play Mappy, which I dearly adore.
You've got a map.
I know, but I love it. I just love it anyway.
All right,
so,
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So Gaplus, or Galaga 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one sitting out there that is fantastic. And then at the very end of at the far end of the room, over in the corner, if anybody hasn't played Mad Planets, or you might not know what that is, you've got to go play Mad Planets. It's an absolutely brilliant game. So yeah, love it.
There's a. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting for you.
Oh,
Please, go ahead.
just a couple games down from Mad Planets. I talked about this in my session this morning. There's the Atari Night Driver.
Yes, Night Driver.
And that is, you're just not, I haven't seen one in 15 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that game very often, if ever at all. And it's a simple game. A lot of the artwork of the game is in the bezel. And it's just a black and white game with stripes on it that represent the road, and you've got to drive the road. It's just, I would suggest that you go play it because, I mean, it was kind of a staple on the 2600.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, it's not much different than the 2600
No,
version.
The 2600 is pretty. Dead
Yeah, that
on.
was the driving controller game
Yeah.
for the 2600.
Definitely.
That's a cool game.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, just from the audience perspective, what's been your favorite game here so far?
We've put you on the spot.
Yeah. No, I just
There are no Back to the Future pinball machines
yeah,
out there.
I just love to know what people like.
So the sleeper hit for me has been Blaster. I've never heard of Blaster. I never played Blaster.
Interesting. Okay.
And
So,
I've been playing a lot this week.
so
Okay.
Blaster is the Williams game on the side wall in the
On the Duramold.
In the Duramold.
In the Duramold. Yeah.
So if no one knows what those are, did you realize what those cabinets are?
No.
They are so the Williams had these plastic cabinets, same rough height as a standard wooden cabinet, and I don't know the history of them. I'm guessing they were trying to produce a little cheaper cabinet.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, the thing about it is, I know this sounds bad, but Durmolds are typically so unobtainable
Yep.
that I've never even really invested the time in digging through the history on them because I just knew that I would probably never own one.
So
But there's 3 of them out there. It's crazy.
I've never seen one in person, and there's 3 out here.
Yeah.
And for people that haven't seen them, they're round, almost like they look like a real tall fire plug.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm assuming
I was
that
going to say a
it's-
circular cooler, or something like
Yeah,
that.
there
Like
you go.
like a circular soft drink cooler or something.
So they're neat. So yeah, if you haven't gone over to check them out or to play the games, definitely check them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a serious question. This isn't a jokey question. With the advent of the 3D printer, and I know that upkeep on, because I don't have a pinball machine, I don't have an arcade game at home, but I do know from knowing people that do. The challenge is the maintenance on these machines. So, how much now, and do you see in the future 3D printing helping that?
And here's the thing. Brent's into this further than I am. I'm coming at it as kind of riding his coattails from a research perspective and everything like that. But I think the desire and I guess the acknowledgement on both of our parts is likely the same. I see it as a supporting utility function to help cover basis for parts that you may not be able to get, or for, let's call it, ingenious fixes that you may come up with to help address a problem. I don't know. I mean, I don't see 3D printing as directly solving, let's say, like a broken part issue for the sheer fact that it's probably not going to be as durable. But it may be something that gets you through, or helps you limp along, or helps strengthen another repair by providing support brackets, or something like that. It's kind of your mind's your own limit on that. But I see it as a complementary item to the hobby, not a direct problem solver to the hobby.
And I know you're going to answer this, but is this a hobby? Hobby seems a little bit of a light word to describe what I witness when I come to these events.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely. I think we call it a hobby because the majority of us don't get paid for doing it, but it's almost semi-lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right. I mean, a hobby to me is, all right, when I was younger, I might build model cars, and I did that for a while. It kind of easy to do, slide away for a couple hours, have a couple, days a week where I can just kind of go and do that. And I've got a few model cars. I'm kind of, as my grandfather used to say, I'm pittering around.
You kind of putzing around. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. This is almost a lifestyle.
It's almost a lifestyle.
A lot of what I do outside of my professional life, a lot of my personal life revolves around shows like this and other people in the hobby and events and looking for parts and games. And you're making me look inside on myself, and I don't like what I see.
You thought you were going to do it to me.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, though,
No.
because I'm a firm believer that a person needs a person needs a passion. And,
Oh, I totally agree with that.
And
Yeah.
a person needs to be able to occupy their mind and occupy their time and focus on something so that you're successful with your time management and you have something to show for what you do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, typically probably just won't do much of anything over and above what you would have to do.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. You get a little introspective and look inward and say, "Yeah, man, is this really the right thing to do?" But I think you could apply that question to any quote hobby. But the main thing is you're productive. And,
Yeah, because I think
you're
if you're just going day in and day out, and
Yeah.
you're just working, and then you're coming home, and you go through the same routine every single day,
Yeah.
You're just existing.
You're just existing. That's right.
So, I think this is a little more in the living category.
Oh, yeah, for
But
sure.
with that said, with it being such a commitment, and granted, there are various levels of commitment. I mean, you could do this with one pinball machine in your garage and still be in the hobby.
In the hobby,
yeah.
yeah.
Is there ever been a point for either one of you where you're like, gosh, I don't know. This seems like a lot. I don't know.
For me, there definitely has.
Yeah.
And I think what pushes it into that lifestyle category, and follow me on this,
Yeah.
is the internet. Back in the day,
Yeah.
and just to extend on the model car thing, okay? I've recently gotten back into RC cars. Back in the day, I had some kits. You went to the hobby shop, and that was the extent of your world for the most part. They might have, doing cars, they might have a small track. Somebody else in the neighborhood might have a hobby grade car, and you can kind of pitter around. That was your sphere of knowledge and influence.
Yeah.
It was all, personal interaction, someone that you could walk up to and shake their hand. Today, to parallel that, I've gotten back into it because my nephew's getting into it. So it's something we can do together.
Yeah.
However, now that I want to join this Facebook group. Now I want to join this Facebook group. And like with the arcade stuff, it is now forefront in my life. You open Facebook, you go somewhere, you do, and it's right there. The access is so easy across the U.S., across the world. And I'm thinking, the arcade thing is, I've had that same realization about the arcade thing, except I slipped into it a lot slower as those avenues developed. I've ridden that wave. Whitney, I know you have too.
Yeah,
'cause
time-wise,
Yeah.
we're the same, so yes.
you turn around and you realize I've got it in my face all the time,
All the time.
inadvertently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to answer the question, there are times when I've definitely thought, yes, it's too much. But I think the reason why those times have occurred to me, or why I've brought myself to that realization, is exactly what you're mentioning. It's not the sheer fact of, oh, do I have too much, or oh, is this too big of a burden? It's social media and the constant barrage that just keeps tapping on you like this
Yep.
all the time. It's like, I can't turn this stuff off. And it's one of those things where I don't want to destroy what I love, but the simple fact that there's like not much of a squelch knob makes you kind of mental
You
sometimes.
get trapped into other people obsessing about whatever their small corner of the hobby is.
Yes.
And you have to just step back and say, I really don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care that button is the wrong shade of blue.
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
back.
And just
As
back
silly as
away.
that sounds, you end up in a little twist like that
Yeah.
quite often. But
Yeah. And for me, I've just got to turn the phone over and walk away sometimes.
speaking
Yeah.
of the phone,
Well, I have one
looking
more
down-
question
Okay.
that I
Yeah.
want to, and then I will yield my time to the gentleman from Louisville.
Reclaim your time.
What do you see, because I am very curious, from the generation coming up behind you guys to kind of keep this lifestyle, as we've defined it tonight, going?
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's a big question.
I've been in the hobby long enough to have seen a shift, the wave of what is key, what is hot, move. And a perfect example in a broader picture is electromechanical games. The generation that grew up with those games, that have passion for those games, that's an older crowd. They've got what they want, or unfortunately they're gone. I didn't grow up with those games. I can appreciate those games. If I've got a choice between even an inexpensive electromechanical and a game of my generation that's 10 times the cost, but it's a game I'm going to buy. Most likely I'm going to buy that game or go play that 10 times the cost game, that newer game. And as sad as it is to say, I think you're going to have a few people that will hold on to the things that our generation, the 20, 30, and 40-year-olds, what they like. Nick Baldridge is a good example. He's he's younger than us at this point,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but he's heavy into games from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I was going to say two
EM
generations.
games.
Yeah, at least a generation older than us.
So you're going to have a handful of those, but unfortunately, I think it's going to get to the point where, all right, I got to get rid of Grandpa's Monster Bash.
Yeah.
Let's haul it out and send it to the Goodwill.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of what we treasure right now, from a generational perspective, the arcade cabinets, the pinball machines, and things like that, I think they're going to be hard pressed to be maintained and to be held on to the way that they're held on to now. Simply because today's, I'll say, I don't want to sound, get off my lawn when I say this, and I use air quotes around it, but today's generation, let's face it, it's all about extremely high-powered consoles with digital downloads. Physical media doesn't matter. Games are played with a headset and a super fast internet connection with people around the world. Quite honestly, this form factor that we treasure, it's not relevant for the generation today. And if it's not relevant, they're not going to care about it when they're 30 and 40 years old. They may get in, a small portion may get into it and may find some interest in it, but unfortunately, none of them are growing up with it.
Pinball is a good example. It's making a huge resurgence.
Pinball, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
And, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But it's not $1 billion, $2-3 billion industry like your console games.
Yeah, and
it just isn't.
It just isn't. And unfortunately, the resurgence in pinball is awesome for pinball. It's doing absolutely nothing for the classic arcade scene.
Yeah.
And it can't. If you look at the barcades, they're fine. They're a great business model. I'm glad that it's bringing some public awareness to the hobby, and especially the arcade games and everything like that. But I don't think it's going to be a tipping point to create a generation that cares. I think it feeds that's kind of cool, or we played that tonight, but is it going to be enough to make a generation care again? I don't think so.
Yep. Well, we are past time. So I'd like to thank everybody for sticking through this with us. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all had a good time this evening.